When I was young, I used to sneak in my fiction book inside my school books and read them while the teachers tried really hard to teach us those boring chapters of history and geography. I remember I would always get exported into a different world of fantasy whenever I was reading those books. I would imagine those characters in life, build those scenes in my mind, like playing a movie but not in TV, in my mind. And then I would watch the entire scene, the entire book in my mind like a movie. Little did I know that one day these books would become my escape from the real world and real life problems and ground me when life becomes chaotic. Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth episode of Thank You Universe podcast. I'm your host Swarnali Saha. You can call me Swara. I am here bringing all the big sister vibes for you, ready to chat about the real stuff, the lessons, those mess ups, and those haha moments of life, which that time is really painful, but later we laugh about it. So, whether you are listening to this podcast while having your morning cup of coffee, or winding down after a tough day at work, or listening to this podcast while commuting through the heavy traffic to the work. Let's make this space our safe place to learn, laugh and grow together. And today I want to talk to you about 5 books that has completely changed my life. I have kept this list really simple so that it's easy for any non-reader to go through it. This list is like a starter pack for any non-reader, and if you are a reader like me, then I am very sure that one of this book you must have already read, and if you have not, this is your sign from the universe. So in this episode I will talk about only the self-help book that has the power to transform your life completely. Although I am a fiction reader kind of a person, I do make sure that once in a while I read some self-improvement book that makes a positive shift in my mindset and help me grow, because I have noticed that whenever I read a self improvement book, a book that is dedicatedly written to help someone grow in their life, it definitely makes a shift in my mindset, and that ultimately helps me to better my life. Now I know not everybody likes to read a book, or you would not even want to pick up a book for sure. Sometimes reading a few chapters becomes very tedious. But if you are looking to unlock your highest self and set yourself for growth in 2025, I have got you covered. In this episode, I am sharing my top 5 books that I have read in 2024, and I highly recommend you reading all of these books. Each one of these books has taught me some powerful lessons, which now I implement in my day-to-day life, which ultimately helps me to grow and be a better person. Okay, now let's just get started with it. I am going to keep my favorite one for the last. So make sure that you listen to this podcast till the end. I have the bunch of books here, and let me start with the first one, Atomic Habit by James Clear. I am pretty sure it's one of those classic self-improvement book that every one of you must have already heard about. This book is literally a comprehensive guide to build good habits and break the bad ones. The author emphasizes on how you can make small progress every single day that accounts to a big progress at the end of the day or at the end of the year. He clearly explains a principle called 1% growth, which means that you just have to grow by 1% each day, and then at the end of the year imagine how much of a better person you would become. Most of the time in life we aim for massive improvement. For example, since we are about to hit into a new year, so we will set out resolutions like in 2025 I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go to gym, I'll come back, I will do some journaling, I'll sit for my work, evening I'll go for the work. But we fail to actually do this. Why this happens? This happens because we are not creating an action plan for ourselves. We are just creating goals, and we are just thinking that this is gonna happen. We are actually not making an actionable system to achieve that goal. For example, the 3-4 things that I talked about, if you have never done any of this in your life, suddenly on 1st January you will not be able to start everything and continue it again till 31st of December. you will have to build the habit to do it. And that habit you can build one by one. For example, if you don't have a habit of waking up in the morning, the first thing that you need to work on is to wake up in the morning. Once you have that habit built, then you start getting into the workout mode. Take a gym membership, go to gym, or do your home workout, or go for a run, whatever suits you. If you try to build 10 habits at one time, you will never be able to do it. That's why go one at a time. Another very beautiful thing that he mentioned in this book, which we actually overlook a lot in our life, he mentioned that focus on the kind of person you want to become, not just the outcome of what you want to achieve. Meaning, if you want to lose weight and be fit, try to be like a person who is fit and whatever the person will do in his life. Don't just do it just for the sake of losing all those weight. Do it to become a person who is fitter, healthier, and leading a fitter lifestyle. I mean, I literally can go on and on about this book and will still not end, because it's amazing how James Clear has mentioned each of those principles so simply. Even if you are a non-reader, you can read this book in a week and you will still be able to understand, because it's written in such layman language. Okay, so number 4 on the list is 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Clearly written, own your morning, elevate your life. So if you are not a reader kind of a person, you will still be able to enjoy this book, because it is written in a very fictional narrative way, and he clearly explains one principle here, which is the 20-20-20 rule. Now you really have to read this book in a whole to understand each and everything, but just to give you a key takeaway to make you interested to read this book. The 20-20-20 rule formulates 20 minutes of movement, 20 minutes of improvement, and 20 minutes of learning. He explained this principle in a way that we need to incorporate these three things in the first hour of our morning. If you want a productive and intentional start to your day, this is the book you need in your list. I have always been a morning person, but after reading this book, I started applying this 20-20-20 formula. Now, definitely 20 minutes of movement is not enough for me, so I would go for a full-fledged 1 hour of gym workout. But I have molded the principle as per the things that works for me. For example, 20 minutes of something for self improvement. So I would either read my book, do my journal, or listen to a self improvement podcast that will help me go through my day. Mostly I would enjoy reading and do my journal. And in the 20 minutes of learning, I would always try to learn something new. For example, I'm trying to learn a new language, so I have this Duolingo app in my phone, which I will try to use to learn that new language and practice it for like 20-25 minutes in the morning. Because when you wake up in the morning, your brain is very fresh, your mind is fresh. So whatever you will try to learn during that time, your mind will be able to grasp it better. And also, mornings are always free of distractions, so it allows you to concentrate deeply and creatively to whatever you want to do. Robin Sharma in the book has also mentioned that whatever routine you are setting up for yourself, you have to do this for at least 66 days to form a habit. And yes, I did, and it actually works. Third on my list is don't believe everything you think. I have talked about this book in the very first chapter of our podcast as well, because this book was a wake up call for my mental health. Don't believe everything you think. It deep dives into the fact that whatever thoughts are going in our mind, not all of them are facts. Some of them we are actually imagining, and these are just stories we are just telling to ourselves and making us believe, but these are actually not true. For someone like me who used to overthink a lot, negative thoughts would always come to my mind because of my overthinking nature. After reading this book, it actually helped me to detach myself from those negative thoughts and stop giving them so much power. I realized that I have the ability to write a new story for myself, create a new narrative for myself, and this is my life and I am in the driver's seat. So if I have to think something, let it be positive than negative. So if you are looking to master your mindset, this is one book you really need to read. And good news for all non-readers, it's not a thick book. It's hardly 170 pages. So you can really finish this book off in 3 to 4 days if you read at least like 20 minutes every day. Second on the list is Essentialism. I don't know how many of you have heard about this book, because it's not like very popular on social media, but this book is actually it, especially if you want to live a disciplined lifestyle. This book really helps us to understand the things that actually matters in our life, and you can throw away just everything else that doesn't. This book is the ultimate guide to living and working with intention rather than just being overwhelmed with the numerous tasks that you have to do throughout the day, as along with the numerous deadlines and commitments. One of those days which I feel most of the days, when we feel so overwhelmed, we feel like, oh my god, there are so many things to do and I have to complete all these things in one day. I have so much on my plate and I don't have enough time. That was me before I read this book, Essentialism. This book is totally about focusing on really what really matters and letting go of the things that are not of priority. If you have listened to my last podcast, which was on 5 1-minute habits that I do every day to save 20 plus hours a week, one of those habits was to eliminate things that doesn't really matter and prioritize things as per necessity. That habit I have learned from this book itself. And one of the favorite lessons that I have learned from this book is the art of saying no and the power of saying no. I realized that by trying to do everything at one go, I was not doing anything at all. This book actually helped me cut out the unnecessary things that I was doing and prioritize my energy and channelize myself into doing things that are actually transformative. If you have set a goal for yourself and if you want to achieve it, you sometimes have to say no to things that doesn't align with you. So if you are feeling overwhelmed with a lot of work, if you feel burnt out, this is a book that you need to read. Okay, and finally coming to my favorite reads of 2024. I have been eyeing on this book for a really long time, but it wasn't until this year that I actually read it. Sometimes when you need something or you need someone and suddenly it happens to be that life is just giving you that thing or a person. It's like one of those signs that you get from the universe that we learn lessons right on time. That person we don't need in life just goes away from our life at that very point. Learning a new skill when it is actually needed, all those kind of things. So reading this book was actually something like that. I ordered some different book from Amazon, but this is what got delivered to me, The Secrets. And instead of returning it, I thought, let's just read it for now. It was like this book was planned by universe to come into my life at this point. Definitely, hands down, one of the best reads of 2024. So this book is based on a very popular concept, the law of attraction. It clearly states out the principle how your thoughts and what you think about yourself actually molds into your life. I have always been very interested in the power of manifestation, understand more about it. This book deep dives really deep into power of manifestation, law of attraction, and mindset shift. It's all about shifting your focus to abundance from scarcity. Instead of always saying I don't have this, say that I have this. So that shift in mindset actually makes you think positive about yourself, think positive about your life, and ultimately universe will give you things that you actually want in life. And one of the exercise that I have been doing for many years now is vision boarding. So at the very start of the year, I'll create a vision board for myself. Now when I read this book, it actually deep dive into how vision boarding helps our mindset and what is the accurate way to do it. If you read this book, The Secrets, it will help you understand how vision board making can help you reach your goal faster, and also how gratitude practice daily can help you attract things that you want in life. I have always been a kind of person who have been very attracted to these things, and I always believed in this thing. That's why the name Thank You Universe, by the way. But this book helped me to understand it in a better way. And there you have it. 5 books that changed my mind, mindset, and my thoughts. Whether you are looking to build better habits, or trying to shift your mindset into more positive thoughts, or simplify your life, or attract your dream life, this book has something powerful to offer. So which of these books are you adding into your 2025 reading list? By the way, have you read any of these books already? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you have any more book suggestion, please put it down below in the comment box. Thank you so much for tuning in. Every episode of this podcast is available on YouTube 2 days before it's available on Spotify and Amazon Music. I'm your host Swarnali Saha and you are listening to Thank You Universe podcast. Until next time, stay motivated, stay mindful, and keep growing into your highest self.